Hello everybody, welcome back to Honeysuckle Homestead Retreat. I know it's been a minute since I posted a new video, but I am back to report that April, my horse April, had a colt. Hi everybody, my name is Desiree. I live and work in Atlanta, but I have a tiny house in the Appalachian Mountains where I'm slowly starting an off-grid farm. I'm a single girl doing most of the work on my own and learning as I go. So come along with me on my journey, and I hope it will entertain and maybe also give someone out there a little inspiration. Welcome to Honeysuckle Homestead Retreat. The great news is April did have her colt. The not so great news is I wasn't there to see it, but it's really totally fine. I'm totally fine with it. I was just so happy that he was healthy, that the birth went extremely well. At least it appeared to go extremely well. Nobody was there to see it. April had her colt about 2 weeks earlier than any of us expected. So, which isn't totally unusual with horses. I mean, especially a maiden mare who's having her very first colt or filly. They can come early, they can come late. They have like a 2.5 month span of possibility of giving birth. So it is a little difficult to pinpoint exactly when a horse is going to have the baby. I woke up one Saturday morning to a text from the barn manager saying, "It's a colt," and a couple of pictures. So I immediately jumped out of bed, got dressed, and went straight to the barn. And I was so thrilled to see him, and I was sad that I wasn't there for the birth, but in all honesty, it is okay. It's totally fine. Horses do prefer to have their babies in private, so it's probably best that she just did it on her own. Thankfully, I did bring her into the barn a little earlier than we had originally planned, so she didn't have it out in the pasture, which was great. So I'm really glad. I had only brought her into the barn a few days before she actually had the colt. So it was perfect timing, and I couldn't be happier, like I said. This is Chance. His full registered name will be Perchance to Dream, and he is a full-blooded Rocky Mountain Colt. So happy, so thrilled. For anyone that knows anything about horses, Rocky Mountains are a gaited breed. So he has a unique gait compared to other horses, like a quarter horse or in most other horses. There are only a few breeds that are actually gaited breeds. And so they do this little, what some people call like a little single foot shuffle. And it almost looks like a trot, but it's not. And it's way smooth. Like you just sit there and you don't bounce. So he definitely has that gene. I've already noticed just him moving around that he's 100% gaited. So he came out looking just perfect. I'm just super excited. He's just perfect. I couldn't be happier. And I actually ended up taking a whole week off of work. I had taken a week off of work for some other reason, and that other reason actually didn't even come to fruition. So it really worked out well because it was the week right after he was born. So I just didn't go to work, and I went to the barn 2-3 times a day. I'd sit in the stall with him and April for hours, and I just, let him get used to people and being with people and around people, especially in the stall. And I think that paid off tremendously. He is just the most loving little colt. He's not afraid of people. He's super friendly. He wants to say hi to everybody. And I truly believe that spending that amount of time in the stall with him and her was a huge payoff. So I'm really glad I did that. I'm glad I was able to do that. And yeah, I could not be happier. Okay, real quick, guys. This video is sponsored by TZ Audio Products. So I just wanted to give a little quick rundown. I have a brand new microphone. This is the TZ Stellar X microphone. And let me know if you think this sounds more crisp, more clear than this sound, which is my Apple iPhone. And that's the microphone I usually use most of the time, is my Apple iPhone microphone. Sometimes I have a lapel mic, but it really isn't that much of a difference than the iPhone microphone. Tell me if you notice a difference. So like I said, this right now is my iPhone microphone, and this is the Stellar X from TZ Audio Products. And also, it comes in a really cool case, by the way. Yeah, I actually like the case quite a bit. So I'm really happy. This is actually my first time using the microphone. So yeah, I'm happy right now. I've only kind of listened to bits, like I've done a little bit and listened, and I'm like, it does sound a little more clear to me. But I am curious to see if you guys notice a difference or not. So let me know in the comments below. I have already started some training with him, believe it or not. I've been following this method from this Australian trainer, and it's the way that April was trained, so I want to do it with Chance as well. I was really happy with how April turned out with her training, so I wanted to continue that same kind of path with Chance. And so far, he's doing so well. He's about 2 months old now. He's already leading by the halter. He's doing all sorts of like little things that I'm just so proud of. Like I can get him to turn around, to back, to follow with the halter, and still working on a lot more with him, but it is a step-by-step process. So super excited. For any horse people out there, the method I'm following is the Clinton Anderson method, and I like it a lot. If there's anything that I'm not okay with, which I haven't gotten to that point yet with any of the Clinton Anderson stuff, but I'll modify it based on how I feel. Like, for example, with April, some training that I've done with her, I've incorporated positive reinforcement, like you would do with a dog. So I actually do clicker training with her, where when she does something that I really like, I click and then I give her a treat. And I have found that that has sped up her learning tremendously. I'm not able to do that with Chance yet because he's too young to be getting treats from me. So we're just working off of trust and just, yeah. But it's going really well. He is such a sweetheart. I'm so thrilled, like just insanely thrilled and happy at how he turned out. And people would ask me, do you want a colt? Do you want a filly? And I would always say, I just wanted to be healthy. And he came out healthy. The only issue that we had in the very beginning, because the vet came within the first 24 hours or so, just to make sure that he was getting all the colostrum that he needed from the milk. And he passed that with flying colors. So that was never an issue, thank goodness. But he did have this condition where his tendons were tight in his front legs. So what the vet did was administer an antibiotic, strangely enough, that has the side effect of relaxing tendons. It's not intended for that, but it has that side effect. So they use it for that. And then they wrapped his legs to keep the legs warm, to kind of loosen up the tendons some more. The reason that they did that is because they said that if the tendons remained tight, if they didn't loosen up on their own, that he would be more like walking on his tippy toes and on his front legs. So you don't want that with a horse. They need to be able to relax and be able to walk normal. Otherwise, they can turn up lame in the future and whatnot. But they said it's extremely common, happens all the time. And I did a little research on it as well and saw that it tends to happen like it almost certain seasons have more babies that are born like that, and as opposed to other seasons. So I learned a lot about it, but yeah, I'm not going to bore you guys with all that stuff, but I just wanted to give you a rundown of why he got his legs wrapped and got the antibiotics. But he's doing great now. Like everything has relaxed. His front legs look fantastic. So he did have to get his legs wrapped a second time, but he didn't get the antibiotics. That was good. And there was like a lot of like goodness that came out of that. So, but he's getting a lot of exercise now, which will loosen up those tendons even more. He and April are still in the stall, and they're going out into like a pasture that's just meant for mares and their babies for about 4 to 5 hours a day now. Initially, he was only going out for an hour a day, but now he's going out about 4 or 5 hours. So next month, I will probably have him go out in the pasture with the other mares and colts and fillies, and he'll be able to be a part of a herd. And that's really important for their development, to just learn herd behavior and respect and just the pecking order of things and how a herd dynamic works, because as of right now, it's just been him and mom. And like, I guess when he does go out into that smaller pasture for 4 or 5 hours, there may or may not be another mare with their babies out there, but most of the babies are out in this larger pasture. So I don't actually think he's had any interaction with the babies yet. I really don't know though, but I don't think he has. So it's just been him and mom for the most part, and they'll be moving out there soon, and he'll get to stretch his legs even more and not be confined to a stall at all whatsoever. So I am happy about that. The only downfall for me is having to go find him out in the pasture and like catch him for training. So hopefully it won't be an issue, but I guess we'll see once he's out there. But as of right now, he's super friendly. Like, he'll come up if anybody like approaches the stall. He's like, "Hey, what's up? Who's this? Are you gonna pet me?" You know, he loves pets. He loves being scratched like on his butt. Actually, he loves being scratched anywhere. He just loves it. So he is such a sweetheart. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the videos of Chance and everything. I'm just super, guys, I'm so excited. Like I said in one of my previous videos, this has been a dream of mine since I was a little girl, to have a mare, breed her to a stallion, and have a colt or a filly or whatever. And this is it. It's just, I get a little emotional about it because I've waited so long for that. And for me to actually accomplish it is such a huge dream of mine, and it feels so rewarding. So rewarding, and he's so perfect, and he's such a smart boy, and I couldn't be happier. And you know, the whole training process, me training him from day one, was also a dream of mine. So to finally be able to do that is also just so fulfilling for me, and I couldn't be happier. So I'm glad I'm able to share this with you guys. I will continue to share his progress along the way. He's growing like a weed, so it amazes me how fast they grow. But I'm not wanting to miss any moment with him, and so I'm spending as much time with him as I can, aside from having to work a lot still and everything else. I'm thrilled. I'm glad you guys are able to follow along with me and see him grow, watch him as he gets smarter and smarter and bigger and more beautiful. Stay tuned for future episodes with him in it. And of course, not all my videos are going to be about Chance. Don't worry, for those that are not interested in horses whatsoever. He will be in some future videos, of course. See you next time.